Hello friends, I'm Smita Katti. I'm so glad you're here today because I'm sharing a peek into my small sketchbook that is filled with positive quotes. I'll talk more about my 52 quotes challenge today, so let's get started.
The sketchbook I used is super small, it's just 4 inches in size, and I filled each page with a quote. I'll share a number of different ideas, so hopefully you'll find something that you can recreate yourself. I love a beautiful brush letter quote in black on white paper. It's a simple idea that you can do many ways. One of my go-to markers is the black Tombow dual brush pen for brush lettering. If you're unsure of brush lettering, I have many videos that cover the basics on my channel. Now, if you don't brush letter or have brush pens, here's a simple quote spread where I used color pencils. Doodle a rainbow of flowers. This is so easy and doable. And then letter a quote on the facing page with a black pen. If you're looking to cultivate a creative habit for the new year, this 52 quote challenge that I have is a great one. The motive of this challenge is very simple. It helps you fill pages of a sketchbook and develop a positive mindset. I have the 52 quote prompts as a PDF, and I will leave a link to the blog post in the description box below. In this next example, I'm using a black pen again and hand lettering a quote. This is a smaller brush pen I'm using, and to decorate the quote, I simply added watercolor florals around it. It makes it so colorful, and I love how the words stand out. I'll link all of the supplies used in the description box below. I love using my watercolors to do lettering as well. This will take a little prep. You can lightly pencil in your words and then slowly fill in the letters with watercolor. Add bold colors and letters that just makes the quote pop off the page. Just reading and writing a quote helps imprint that positiveness in my brain and makes me more motivated for the day. For this example, I used just a black pen, and since my quote was much longer, I used a super tiny font. I tried something different and doodled in a desert scene with a llama. This one actually turned out to be one of my favorite pages of the sketchbook. This just goes to say that there is no right or wrong way for you to write down a quote or to fill a sketchbook. Just have fun, spend time with your art supplies, and explore new techniques. It's the process that matters. In this example, the quote I lettered was simple and small, so I filled the rest of the page with doodle flowers. I love using a black pen to draw, and since I plan to watercolor on top of this, I used an oil-based pen here. And then I went in and watercolored in all of the flowers. This is a simple way to explore any new art supplies you might have got. Another favorite trick of mine is to go in rainbow order. I'll share 2 examples here. In this one, I used a rainbow of small brush pens to brush letter a quote. And then I used those brush pens itself to add some line art. This just decorates the quote and makes everything look cohesive. When you have a new set of pens, try writing quotes in a rainbow color order. First, count how many words your quote has, and then how many markers you will need. Then simply write the quote down using 1 color per word. It will turn out colorful and uplift your mood for sure. When the quote is small or simple, I like to add a pop of bold color, and this time I added a large flower. This is a painting style I don't usually do, so I took some extra time that week to sketch it out with a pencil first and then painted it in with my watercolors. For this quote page, I used my Tombow dual brush pens to watercolor. This is my favorite technique, and in fact I have an entire playlist of videos on my channel covering this. I simply add the marker color onto the paper and then paint over it with water. It creates a soft watercolor look that is so much fun to paint. To keep things bold, try using just 2 contrasting colors or complementary colors to paint your flowers and leaves. Sometimes you want to paint, but sometimes you just want to use a pen. Here I used both. I had just painted a canvas and had paint left over, so I used that to letter a large word in the page first. This is acrylic paint here, and then I fit the rest of the quote words around that. So that's another tip. You don't have to letter your quote from top to bottom. When I'm at a loss of what to draw or paint, I always start a page with a quote and the rest falls into place. When I'm stuck for ideas, I will reach for a black pen, write down the quote, and then think to myself, how can I make this look prettier? This time I use some watercolor cakes to paint the most simplest watercolor flowers. Watercolors are my favorite, and for the past 5 or 6 years, I've bought myself a new set of watercolors every year for my birthday. The Tombow dual brush pens and all though, I received those from Tombow as part of being on the design team. I love how this page turned out. It started out so simple and without a plan, but the finished result just makes me smile. In the past couple of videos, you saw me set up my bullet journal. For 2021, I'm doing my 52 quote challenge, but on a much simpler note. In my bullet journal itself, every week I will be writing the quote down. Having a quote to start my Monday morning is an amazing feeling. It just brings so much more focus to your work week. So I hope you'll join me in this challenge this year and use the hashtag 52 quotes challenge while tagging me, Smita Katti, on social media.
You can head to my blog right now to download the free PDF that contains all the 52 quotes to letter in this challenge. I will leave a link to the blog post in the description box below. So thanks so much for spending some crafty time with me today, friends. I'll see you again in another video. Till then, happy crafting!